So I'm sitting here enjoying the sun on this beautiful Florida summer day. And I'm currently on the 5th day of a fast. And for those of you who've never fasted before, the 5th day can have some challenges depending on your conditions, your body, everything like that. And normally the first couple of days are the hardest. And as you progress, it slowly gets easier and easier. And this time, I've managed to have a pretty solid day because I cleared through whatever was stopping me from pushing through this day. I fasted several times before, but this is the first time I'm actually able to clear through day 5 because I healed my stomach and my hernia. I have a hiatal hernia. I have blocked lymph nodes, drainage, all kinds of different things that have happened over the years due to, just living in America, I guess. The poor diet, fast food, environmental toxins, you name it. We've all been around it, myself included, to a large extent. And so I had to learn what I could and couldn't do, and then learning the breath work to overcome my stomach, my chest, all that fun stuff, and to actually be able to push through day 4 and day 5 going into day 6. And I feel well. I'm not hurting anymore. My stomach pain was definitely real there for a while, and the first 3 times I got to this point, I had to give up about an hour ago. Is how far I would have gotten. So I'd gotten to about 112 hours several times. But right now I'm past that, and I feel great. I'm gonna keep going. I don't know how long this is gonna go. And this isn't to boast. I'm not here flexing on day 5. It's simply to tell you that it's possible and that you feel good in doing so. Today at church, the pastor spoke about the importance of fasting. And for those of us who've never done super extended fasts, or for those who've never done a fast at all, I encourage you, under, if need be, medical supervision. Don't just take my word for it. If you're not able to do it, don't necessarily just jump into it. But if you're able to, give it a shot. See how you feel. Because it can help the body heal. One, the autophagy, the benefits of autophagy that come through fasting, and that's self-eating in, I want to say, Greek. Basically, the body goes through and eats all the bad cells that are in it. And I'm gonna put my glasses on because the sun is pretty warm out, it's bright in my eyes. But it goes through the self-eating phase, and what that does is it eats through the damaged and dying cells in your body, and it lets your body basically pull that out and expel it as the junk that it is. And it allows you to actually become healthier. It allows you to get closer spiritually. It allows you to heal things that have been wrong for a long time. For instance, right now I can feel my lymph nodes, which have been inflamed for 2 years constantly. I can feel them draining. And it's interesting because nothing I've done has helped. I've taken all the supplements you can imagine. I've done all the exercises. I've changed my diet 1,600 ways to Sunday. But in order for the body to truly cleanse itself, it needs to have the time without having things flooding in to be able to actually start to pull the things apart. Now, in order for this to effectively work, your body also needs the micronutrients to be able to heal. So this means that prior to a fast, it's very important that you are getting in those nutrients, which is why I eat so many microgreens. It's also why we grow microgreens. It's also why we work with microgreen products. Because if you really want health, it's not just about the protein, carbs, and fats, although those are incredibly important. It's also about the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. Your B vitamins for energy, vitamin C, vitamin D. Why do you think I'm out here right now getting a little vitamin D in? Chilling under the banana tree. You need vitamins for your body to be able to heal. And then once you have those vitamins, you need to give your body space to heal. You need to give it the opportunity to stop working so hard in fight or flight and in rest and digest. Because once you get through and you're no longer in fight or flight and you get through the digestion phase, now you're in heal and repair. And it's a state that, even though in the Bible it talks about fasting and it talks about the importance of fasting, we don't do it as Americans. We don't do it in modern society. And that's a problem. I mean, if you want to have a healthy body and you tried everything to lose weight, but you're just struggling, maybe it's because you're trying too hard. Maybe what you should do is nothing at all. Just put it down. Let your body do the work. It's going to be hard at first. It really is. But you'll get through it and you'll be better off for it. You go a day. Go 2, 3 if you can. Don't necessarily start off rushing into it. Start with intermittent fasting. Go 8 hours, 16 hours, whatever you do. Obviously, if you're pregnant, don't do it. If you have major health conditions, check with your doctor. See if it's something you can do. But if you're regularly healthy and you've never skipped a day without eating, give it a shot. See how you feel. Because I've had conditions now for years that I've been trying to overcome through every methodology imaginable. And I'm feeling a difference through a lot of the combined stuff and fasting. Because in Matthew 17:21, it states that these demons can only be cast out through prayer and fasting. And while we don't like to talk about it in today's society, the demons they were referring to in many forms are often parasites and things that are in the body that don't necessarily deserve to be there. And they cause conditions, they cause problems that you don't necessarily want. So if you want them to go away, if you want those cravings to stop, if you want your body to heal, and you want to save some money along the way, fasting is a way to do it. Now make sure you're drinking plenty of water, maybe some lemon juice, right? Put a half a lemon into your water, add a little bit of Celtic salt, make sure you're getting your electrolytes in, right? You're not here to try and crush your body's mineral content. You're trying to keep the body functioning in the prime way. But by doing so, you can have such a major impact on your health. And to be fair, for those of us who don't have an unlimited budget for food, food's expensive these days. And a lot of people are carrying a little more weight than they'd like. So how can you kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Fast 1 day a week. You'll cut your food bill down by 15% right off the rip. If you want to do some deeper cleansing, fast for 2 or 3 days, and you'll save almost half of your food bill that week. If you have a lot more weight to lose, or you have a lot of cleansing that needs to be done, you can do this multiple times throughout the year. You can do it quarterly. I more do it twice a year, once in the beginning and once in the middle. So this is my June fast, where I'm letting the body kind of reset. And I'm going a little bit deeper than I've ever gone before this time, because I've done the internal work and I've done the breath work and the food figuring out of what I can and can't do. I've removed coffee from my system because I personally can't drink coffee or caffeine in general. It causes me severe pain in my stomach, so I had to stop. And because of that, I'm able to push through further than I've ever done. And so find whatever affects you. Find your trigger foods that cause the inflammation. Find the trigger foods that cause you to crave or cause you to fall into loops that you don't want to be in. And then once you release those things, it allows the body to release the tension, the pressure, whatever's holding you back. And then, if you're like me and you've done that, you can press onwards into further fasts that allow the body to heal itself more. And so, do the work. Do whatever it is that you need to do to feel better. And focus on health. Focus on being the healthiest version of yourself, because if you want to live a long, healthy life, because you don't want to just live a long life. Imagine living 100 years and being sick for half of it. It'd be miserable. You want to live a long, healthy life. And so if you want to live a long, healthy life, then you have to focus on your health. And if you want to do that, you have to start now. The later you start, the more things you're going to have to fix in the long term. So start now. Add in the fruits and vegetables, get the micronutrients, refuel, replenish the body, give it what it needs. And then once you've replenished it, once you've given it what it needs, take time for it to repair itself. Take time for that autophagy to kick in. Allow it to heal itself through fasting. Pray. Get closer to God. Do whatever you need to do to feel better. Because in today's day and age, the system around us is not set up for health. So we have to work around that and figure out our own ways to be healthy, you know? So plant trees, plant a banana, plant an avocado, goji berries. Try to plant some tree collards, you know? Plant veggies. Put stuff into the ground. Grow your own food. It's better for you anyway. Eat microgreens. If you want some, we have them. Here pretty soon we'll be able to ship them too. We've got all kinds of cool stuff on the way. Start a garden. Plant fruit trees. That right there is probably one of my number one pieces of advice, because with the direction that fruit prices have gone over the past 5 years and the likelihood that they'll continue to escalate because inflation isn't going away. You see, the thing is, even if inflation goes down, that still means there's inflation. That means that whatever prices things are at now are going to continue to rise. And they've almost doubled, and in some cases tripled over the past 5 to 10 years. So if you want the things that are considered luxury goods now, like fruit, the best way to do it is to plant a fruit tree. And you get hundreds of pounds of fruit over the next years, decades. You'll get thousands of pounds. You're not going to buy that much fruit at the store. You wouldn't buy 2,000 pounds of fruit. Be silly. So instead, you grow it, and you help your neighbors grow it, and you help your friends grow it. And that's what we're doing. We're planting microgreens, planting fruit forests. We're healing the body. We're fasting. It's not just about one person. It's about everybody. It's about healing and feeling better about life. Feeling better going through life. Feeling connected to your community through food. Through growing food for each other. Through freely sharing. We don't have to charge for everything, okay? I put the fruit forest in the front yard so that people could get it for free. I want people to come by and pick fruit off the tree. I don't want everybody to come by from the entire country because we don't have enough trees. But one day, if everyone starts growing them, we would. We can share. We can all share, because fruit and veggies and perennial vegetables are abundant when done properly. Why do we fight lawns every single day? Every single week, we spend hours mowing down the earth, trying to keep it, trying to beat it into submission. That's silly. We should let it work. We should let it grow. Everything's meant to grow. Either something is growing or it's dying. So why do we fight these things? Why do we want these perfect lawns that grow nothing, that cost us money? It takes 90% less water to grow trees than it does to grow grass. And yet here we are spending hundreds of dollars a month on grass, spending hundreds on lawnmowers, thousands on lawnmowers. Don't get me wrong. I love me a good zero turn. Those things are fun, they're cool, they're awesome. But I can't eat what it cuts. So, in the event that grocery prices keep going up, it's not doing me any good to keep running over my lawn every single week. So instead, let's dig up the whole thing. Let's plant fruit trees instead. Let's plant perennial vegetables. Let's put sweet potatoes in, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, figs, persimmons, peaches, pears, plums, apples, bananas, papayas, mangoes, avocados. All these things that are being charged for, that we're paying the ignorance tax of not knowing how to grow stuff, of not putting stuff in our yard. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is today. So plant a tree. Go on a fast, go on a walk. Start with walking. Walk half a mile, a quarter mile, walk a mile. Do whatever you need to do to make that incremental improvement. Because it's all about 1% changes. 1% a day adds up to 365% by the end of the year. So even if you mess up, if you've just figured out one thing to get 1% better at, then at the end of the year, you're over 3.5 times better than you were last year. And that compounds. It adds up. And if you plant one tree this year, maybe next year you'll plant 2. Maybe next year you'll plant 10. Maybe in 5 years, as your kids grow up, or your grandkids, or you start having kids, you'll be able to pick the fruit off the tree and hand it to them that you planted. And you'll be able to tell them, yes, I planted this for you. I planted this so that you would have fruit, so that you would have food. Because it's not about us. It's not. It's about the next generation as well. It's about those who come after us. Because if we don't plant now, these children will inherit dust. They'll get nothing. People talk about the economy. The economy is a sham. The economy is made up of people, and people are a community. So rather than focusing on how's the economy doing, how are stocks doing, how's crypto doing, instead, we should be focused on how are the people doing. How is life in this community? Do we have food available? Do we have a way for homeless people to eat? Do we have a way for homeless people to get homes? Do we have a way for the kids to eat? The schools, do they have access to affordable, fresh fruit nearby? What is up with all of these massive fields of grass around schools that just get mowed down? Like, I'm not talking about playgrounds. I love playgrounds. I love sports fields. Those are great. What I'm talking about is the fact that there's just massive open areas around schools that they pay tax dollars to mow down every other week, when you could have fruit trees and systems that are no-mow systems that allow you to have productive systems that could then the kids could learn where fruit comes from, where vegetables come from. We have so much unused land here in America. We have so much. And it's just abandoned, vacant, left to sit. So if you don't have a place to plant and you don't know what to do, find a spot in your town that's been untouched for 10 years. Find a vacant lot that's just sitting there and nobody's ever touched, and throw a few trees in. Just plant some seeds. And if somebody's got a problem with it, they'll cut it down, or they'll ask you to stop, and you find somewhere else. But don't let the lack of resources stop you. Be resourceful. If you're eating fruit from the store, grab the seeds, plant them. If you don't have anywhere to grow, find friends, find neighbors, find family, find somebody. Find a vacant lot and just throw in a few trees. Throw in some veggies. Find a park and put a fruit tree in it. Talk to the city. If you need to, get the permissions. Get the whatever. If you need a permit, get a permit. It's like $25 to $50 most of the time. Do whatever you need to do. But these things all come together in that they build a healthy community, because a healthy community is made up of healthy people. Healthy people come from healthy foods, healthy lifestyles. And that comes from having the resources that were developed over years and years, such as fruit trees and veggie gardens and perennials that grow back every year that allow you to be healthy. Medicinal herbs can grow in these same systems. We can have ginger and turmeric. You can grow veggies. You can grow fruits. This all comes together. It's not separate. The problem is they tried to make everything separate. They tried to separate the knowledge of all the different things into where you don't know all of the different facets of life. They're like, oh, he's an expert in, for instance, medicine. It's crazy. You have a GI tract. So it goes from your mouth all the way to the back end, right? And you've got like 3 or 4 different doctors that talk about each part of the tract. And that's great. But if you have a singular tract, wouldn't you want one doctor who understands how it goes all the way through the system and the different points it can go wrong throughout? Why do we have ear, nose, and throat, and then a GI, like stomach and esophagus, and then like a colon and intestines doc? Like, wouldn't you want somebody who knows the entire thing? Wouldn't you want a doctor who knows the full body? Why did they separate everything? I understand it's complex. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to tell you that doctors don't have valuable information. What I'm saying is, if you want to understand the full system, it's up to you, because the current system is not set up for you to be able to go to one person and figure it out. So instead, you have to figure out the system of your body on your own time. It's up to you. If you want to be healthy, you've got to figure it out for yourself. No one is coming to save you. And it's unfortunate. And my generation of Gen Z knows that better than anyone. No one's coming to save us. If you want to eat and you can't afford food, you got to learn to grow. Seeds are cheap. They're a commodity. I kid you not, you can buy seeds for pennies on the dollar. If you go to Walmart right now and buy a papaya, it's about $3 to $5, up to $8, depending on how big of a papaya it is. First of all, that's crazy, because papayas grow out of the ground from a seed, and they just need water, sunlight, and some light fertilization. So the fact that a singular papaya from a papaya tree costs $3 to $8, nuts. But in that papaya, hundreds of seeds. Each one of those can grow its own papaya tree. Now, not every climate can grow papaya. Tropical climates can. We can grow it here in North Florida. But it takes work. It does take effort. It's not necessarily without sacrifice. It's stewardship. We have to steward the land as God sent for Adam to do. He said, be the steward of the Garden of Eden. Well, we've all forgot that the Garden of Eden was most likely right here on earth. And so if the Garden of Eden was already here and it's all gone now, then it's up to some of us, whoever decides that they're willing to step up, to bring it back, to grow the food. So if you're not sure what you want to do in life, then focus on what you have to do for yourself and your family, and that's eat, grow food, learn how to be sufficient in living. Because then, if things go downhill, because as we've seen with the political system these days, it's always going to, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, it's a bit of a dumpster fire these days. So instead of focusing on them, focus on you and your family and your community. Focus on healing your body so that you can better serve your community. Because it's about service. It's about serving the people, serving others. It's about planting for yourself, planting for your family, planting for your friends. Because if we all planted, if we all stopped mowing our lawns and focused instead on growing our lawns and growing fruitful systems, then we wouldn't have to worry about how are we going to afford groceries this week. Instead, we'd be focused on, I wonder what I'm going to make with all of these peaches. I wonder what I'm going to do with all these pecans. What am I going to do with all these avocados? I wonder who else wants an avocado. I've got hundreds of them. I can't eat them fast enough. Well, John over there, he's got hundreds of tangerines and he's not going to eat them. So how about I'll trade you some avocados for some tangerines? How about, hey, I've got all of these tree collards that I grew. And tree collards are just basically collard greens that grow in a tree form, and they grow bigger and bigger every year. So you just get to snap them off and chop them up and cut them or eat them however you feel like it, right? You saute them, that's how I like to eat them. And they're delicious. And you can take cuttings from them and plant them into the ground and have another one. And so if you just plant the right things, if you plant the sweet potatoes, if you plant the tree collards, you plant the fruit, you plant and have chickens. You know, we're thinking about doing that here pretty soon. Get some chickens, have eggs. You got some land? Get you a cow. Food prices aren't going down. I don't know if anybody thinks that they would, but I'm here to tell you right now, they're not. Our food system is so out of whack that even with RFK and Joel Salatin in there, it would take a decade before it's even remotely something that is positive for the people. So if you want good stuff, you're gonna have to grow it yourself or work with your community to figure out some way to grow it in local areas, right? That's the answer at the end of the day. It really is. So I know this has been a long message that has gone into 18 different topics, but at the end of the day, all of these things are related, and they're related to your life and your family's life and your friend's life and your community's life and the life of everyone around you. It's up to us to make the difference. We can't wait for someone to save us. We can have people that show us the way, show us how to do it through growing stuff, through forestry that's fruitful, through letting the trees grow. Because if you let a tree grow, it can produce for decades. And then you save money by investing into God's creation. You do what you were born to do. You steward the earth. So stop typing away at your keyboard. Stop flipping burgers for life if you don't want to. If that's what you want to do, be my guest. I'm not here to tell you what not to do. But live the life you want, and in doing so, develop the freedom through food security that you need to be able to live that life. That way no one can take that away from you. Because once you have the skill of food production, life opens up because they can't starve you. And if they can't starve you, that right there is true freedom. Because you can go off and do whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do, wherever you need to do it, and you'll live. Because God provides for his people. Especially when they help provide for others. So start providing. Be a producer. Don't just be a consumer. That's what they want. We're all consumers in this society. Produce things. That's the message. Be productive. And in order to be productive, you have to heal yourself. You have to learn what you're doing wrong and fix it. That's going to take time. I've been on this journey of health for over 6 years, and that's just the health side. That's not talking about the fitness side. That's not talking about the business and life and understanding what reality is, understanding what's going on in this world. That stuff there, it takes years to learn. But once you develop it, it'll work for you for the rest of your life, as long as you put in the time, the effort, and the energy. So, with that being said, if you listened all the way through to here, thank you. I appreciate you. I pray that you can take this message to heart and make even one minor, tiny 1% improvement today that will set you up for the rest of your life. Go plant a tree. Plant a singular seed. It doesn't even have to be a tree. Faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. If you've ever seen a mustard seed, they're about this big. Probably smaller than that. We grow a lot of them at the farm, so I handle hundreds of thousands of them on a weekly basis. Mustard is delicious, especially as a microgreen. If you want a pro tip, mustard microgreens on a cheeseburger or a hamburger, oh, fire, delicious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So anyways, faith the size of a mustard seed. Go plant a tree. Grow stuff for your family. Fast. Learn to be the version of you that future you and your kids or your grandkids or your great-grandkids, for those who are starting at a later date, need you to be. Make it happen. My name is Zach, and I look forward to speaking with you again.